Welcome back to Tailgate Sports Media Podcast, the premier podcast for sports, mostly football. And the most important part about sports, the tailgate. I'm Peyton. That's Devin. That's the first time I've gotten that right the first try in like 4 weeks.
I was waiting for the restart.
I was expecting it myself, and then all of a sudden, I aced it. Okay, so how was your week, Devin?
Really?
Yeah, it
How was your week?
was better this week. I mean, not to go into everything that happened because I can't yet. I'm sure
hmm
I'll be able to talk about it eventually,
hmm
but there were some dumb things that happened this week, but it wasn't as dumb as working from 7 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock at night, 2 days in a row with no, and then for basically no reason. So it was, yeah. But
I got a quick side note. Did they ever hit you with if we skip lunch, we'll get out on time today?
that's not a very common thing that's said. Uh, because they know that'd be a lie. But what they do hit us with a lot is they're like, only take 30 minutes today. So they don't even ask you, they just tell you what you to do. And I don't eat lunch really. I like to work out during lunchtime. So it really fucks my workout schedule when my job is constantly making me not have the time to go to the gym. So it's pretty annoying. That being said, why are we here? Talk about sports. And mostly football. That's why we say that. Yeah. So the biggest football thing, the Super Bowl happened, and first of all, to our 7 people that will watch this episode, first of all, we love you for watching this episode. But what I really need people to understand, and I think this deserves a lot of credit, and because this happened, we deserve more. There's not a single person in 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 the media world, which I don't, we're not, but we're kind of because we do this. That guessed a score of 29-13.
Well, there was one.
Well, there was. That's what I'm saying. There was one, and he's Devin. And here's what's the most amazing part about this: if you told Devin to draw a formation in 21 personnel, could he do it? No, he couldn't do it. He doesn't know what that means. If you told Devin,
21. Okay, draw a formation in 21 personnel.
well, yeah, it doesn't matter the formation. It just has to be 21 personnel.
So obviously I got my five linemen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm doing a shotgun formation with my QB. I'm going to put my running back on this side, same side as my tight end who's on the line. And then I have my one receiver over here and my two receivers over here. Boom, 2-1, 21.
No. Good job. But you did. That's not it. That's not 21 personnel. Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually not going to tell you what it is. I'm going to keep I'm going to ask you to make a formation in 21 personnel. Every episode we do next season, you have to do it. And when you finally get 21 personnel right, I will be like, congratulations. I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Over the course of the off season, I'm going to pick up flag football coaching. I'm going to learn all this stuff.
If you won't run, would you? I don't know. I don't know. You could actually. You, we technically, hypothetically, when I was playing flag football this last year, we ran 21. We had some 21 personnel formations. We actually really had a 31. I don't want to get into it, but anyway, um, that being said, yeah, Devin was the only person to guess. Now, granted, I don't watch every single sports pundit. I just watch the ones that everyone cares about. So that's not even true. I don't watch the ones that people care about. I pretty much just watch Pat McAfee, Barstool Sports, the Bussin' with the Boys, um, There's more, but I can't remember them. John Gruden. I watch a lot of football guys talk about football as opposed to watching like Skip Bayless give a non-coherent rant about how LeBron James doesn't try and LeBron James doesn't give effort, which
Mhm.
I used to fall victim to. He's like, Skip Bayless, this guy's so smart. But then I turned 13 and I was like, oh, don't listen to everything this guy says. Well, most things this guy says. Anyway,
Yeah, it was funny calling that out and then watching the game and it was 19-0 and I was like, because I kept saying like I don't see how a 29-13 score happens. And my brain like wasn't computing like what would you need to happen for a 29-13 score? I'm like, it's weird, but it's gonna happen. And then it was 19-0 and I was like,
we're on path.
we're on we're on the we're on the precipice of greatness right here. And then they scored the Patriots scored the second touchdown, and the first image they showed was the coach, and he's got his hand up like that to go for two. And I was like, it's happening right now,
That
and
was
it
pretty
happened, and it was
impressive.
great. And then what's his name? The running back. Why did I want to say Kenneth Murray?
Kenneth Walker. It's because you're an OU football diehard.
Yeah, exactly. Walker walked in for a touchdown, and I was like, and I was screaming. I was very mad about something I didn't have any money on. By the way, if I had bet on it, Peyton, we'd have a very nice podcast next season. We'd have a very nice podcast next season
Yeah,
if I
you
had
guys.
bet $100 on it.
Yeah,
Anyways, and then I saw the flag, and it was like someone telling me that, hey, the surgery is a success. They're going to be 100%. Um, hey, you just got that big raise and bonus at work. You're going to have a real good vacation and you're set for life. It was that kind of joy when I saw that holding on the Seattle. So, it was fun. I had a good time, and it's opened up. Seeing how much money I missed out on by not betting on it has opened up a monster. And next season, I'm going to lose a lot of money on stupid bets.
yeah, but hey, the one you hit, you'll be like, wow, we're out of the hole by $7.
Yep. Hmm.
Yeah, I get that. All right, so I guess to really talk about the Super Bowl now, besides the fact that you got the score right, it was just like I kind of think we hit the nail on the head. I think I was a little more. Uh, I think we both picked the Seahawks, but I think I believed in the Patriots a little more. Um,
I mean, I would like to say I also called it again when I said it's going to be close first half, and then Seattle's going to put it away in the second.
yeah, I think the big thing that happened was is like Will Campbell, the offensive line for the. I think the offensive line had to bet like the over on sacks or something, sacks allowed, because they were just atrocious. They acted like they never played a pass rush before, and it was like it's so sad to the point where like they weren't even recognizing like overload four rush. Like overload, that's a hard blitz to counter because you got to shift your line that way. But they weren't picking any of it up. It was really bad. Um, yeah, it's almost like when you get to that point, right? At what point do you just say, "Screw this! I'm taking the run stopping part of my defense out, and I'm just going." Everyone that's on the field is either a pass rusher or a cover guy. Because like I feel like at some point the Seahawks could have effectively done that. I mean, it didn't matter; they were dominating regardless. But also, like,
Right.
what other time to experiment than being up in the Super Bowl?
Well,
Just
I
kidding.
think when you're up about 22 points or so, that's when you go, cool. Them running the ball is not very useful. I'm going to pass rush and play coverage.
Yeah,
That's just
but
me
also
personally. That's how I play NCAA. So,
you could say that, but then you end up being the Atlanta Falcons versus the Patriots.
yeah. Well, you're not doing it like in the third quarter, but like fourth quarter, they got to score three times
Yeah,
and you're going to get touch the ball a couple times in between, and with a run game they can't stop. Oh yeah, you're like, hey, you better start throwing now, big boy, or it's over.
yeah, that game really just made a bunch of um, a defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator a lot of money because they are going to go be head coaches somewhere. Maybe not this year, but next year. That's also the dumbest part. This is the thing that I never understand. Is these teams will go and hire their head coach. Like these teams fire their head coaches midseason. They go hire their head coach from a pool of coaches that aren't in the playoffs. When you have an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator combo in the Seattle Seahawks that are in the playoffs, and you could go hire them if you just had some patience. But everyone has no patience anymore. It's like everyone has TikTok brain, even the Haslams apparently. The Haslams actually created TikTok brain. So everyone was thinking on their same brain wave, and they didn't question their hires as much as they used to. But yeah, they go out and they hire people that like Mike McCarthy getting a gig, whatever. But Mike McCarthy wasn't coaching in the playoffs this year or last year. That's why he didn't have a job.
I mean, some of these coaches, you get it right away. Like, of course, John Harbaugh is going to pick up right
Yeah,
away. You're not going to wait for that.
yeah,
Mike McDaniels, I want to pick up right away. Um, but a lot of the time it's just like, hey, we're a bad team. Where are the good coaches at?
yeah.
Where are the good coaches that, maybe we're taking a shot on them,
Mhm.
but it's something we need to go do. Uh, because there are no more openings at this point. Everything's closed up.
Yep. Yeah. So these guys, these two head coaches are going to be, or these two coordinators are going to be. Yeah, I mean, they're going to keep their team intact unless they go decide to go be like I don't know. I don't like unless they go to the UFL to be a head coach out of nowhere and the UFL decides to fire somebody, right?
Yeah, I'm not taking a pay cut to go
Coach worse
taking a pay
players.
yeah, pay cut to go, potentially, win a UFL championship when I just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And the other thing, right, and this is what I wanted to get into is I think the easiest way to realize like how crazy this game was is like the two or really the season and all, right? Like we didn't have a whole lot of dominating quarterback play outside of Matthew Stafford. There was good quarterback play, but this was like the season of like the skill positions and more. The two most debated players for MVP of the game was Kenneth Walker and it was the kicker for the Seattle Seahawks. It was like the two people everyone was like, oh, these this is between the kicker and it's like at what like where have we not gone wrong, but where like what kind of parallel universe are we in where the year is 2026, Devin? I can remember, was it 12 years ago, or not even less than 10 years ago, we had like, I forget the year because it was like anywhere from it's probably like 5 years ago. Patrick Mahomes was like dominating, like throwing all kinds of crazy arm angles, throwing out a lot of touchdowns, like, and then where have we gone from that? Where everyone was like, "Oh, quarterbacks are just going to start throwing more and more touchdowns." So we added a game, and now quarterbacks throwing less touchdowns. Isn't that crazy?
Well, the best thing about the NFL is that the defenses always adapt, and they adapt a lot faster than anyone else is at any other level because you have the best players and you have the smartest players and you have the smartest coaches to get it done. So
Yeah,
that's the good thing about the NFL is you can't come in and be like, oh, well, we changed the game 110% and it's going to be like this forever. Somebody's going to adapt. Um, and they're gonna kind of start reining that in. So I mean that's you know
yeah,
like I'm a college football guy. I like college football a lot more than I like NFL. But that's one of the great things about the NFL is that like in the NFL, if I beat another team by 13, 14 points, that's a really good game. Hey, you did a very good job beating that team by two whole touchdowns. In college, if my team wins by two touchdowns, I'm like, we got to fix some shit. We got to fix some shit. That's not
yeah.
gonna fly. And so, that's the best thing of the NFL is you truly are seeing the best sport.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, where were you on the debate between being the kicker or the running back?
I was kicker just because I wanted to like it doesn't happen. So like if even it's like
Your chaos.
when people were talking about Indiana's O line winning offensive player of the game in the Big Ten championship or the playoff game or the Rose Bowl, that's what it was.
Hmm.
Everyone was like freaking out. And I was 100% for that because like this never happens. So like when something never happens, like I'm all for that to happen. So, you know, it, the thing with it too is this is kind of cool, but it's going to suck for the NFL because this is the natural progression of the sport, right? No passing to passing, passing takes over. You figure out how to defend the pass. You build your defense around defending the pass. Then all of a sudden, the run game starts coming back. The NFL for the last 20 years with Peyton Manning, with Tom Brady, with Aaron Rodgers, with Ben Roethlisberger. Now you have Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes. These really like true like traditional star quarterback. We have more star quarterbacks in the NFL today than we've ever had in the league at one time. I think because I think you could make a really good argument for Drake May being a star, Matthew Stafford being a star, um, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and then I mean, there's other quarterbacks that I haven't named that have the potential on any given day to be the best quarterback that weekend, right? There's like five or six others that aren't like as consistent as those guys, but they are very, very good. Um, on any given day, Sam Darnold being one of them, Baker Mayfield, even like a Jalen Hurts, even though he had a down year, like these guys have the potential to be really, really good any given day, right? And what's happening is the league's been designed for this. They want the quarterback to be the star of the show. They want the quarterback to be whatever. But because the league has developed this the last 20 years, these people have been building defenses, and now from high school, like it used to be like a high school corner would cover 5 passes in a game, right? And every other play was a run play. Now we're in the point where the cornerbacks are covering 60% of the snaps are passes, and they're
Hmm.
safeties and the linebackers. So all these guys are cover guys now. And so what's going to happen is you're going to get back to the power run game here in like 5 years. It's going to start developing back down into this like hey, we're not going to be in shotgun as much. We're going to go under center more. We're going to we're going to get downhill. All these things are going to happen, and you're going to see it kind of go back into like the 90s when you had Emmitt Smith and you had all these really, really good running backs that were setting records. Dion or not Dion Sanders, Barry Sanders, a lot of these things. And so it's interesting. It sucks for the NFL because they've done so much work, they put in so much money basically into developing a scoring league. And we're about to go back to going to start looking like 3 yards in a cloud of dust football a lot more in the near future because of the way defenses have been evolving.
Right.
When you also have like the type of athlete that plays football now is better than ever. Like you're getting 6'4" dudes who traditionally would never play safety, but they have the ability to play safety now because they're taking care of their bodies at such a young age and getting in that physical that physicality or that physical frame to be able to play safety and run a 4.40 at the same time, but while being 6'4", 230. Like these things don't happen traditionally in this sport, and now that it is, it's like okay, so we gotta run the ball now because these guys are crazy. But yeah, overall, it was a great football season. I really enjoyed this season. I think what I really like take a step back and look back at and say like, man, I appreciate this is like doing this podcast allowed me to like have some type of investment and watch doing something that I love. I love watching football. I love the game of football. Any involvement in football, I love having. Right, like I can go to a game where I don't have a rooting interest in, and I can have a blast because I just love the game of football. And not everyone's like that, but there are a lot of people out there like that. And I think this was like probably the more one of the more enjoyable football seasons I can remember in the last decade since I've been an adult. And I turned 30 this month, so
You
you
know,
know,
you're old as fuck.
yeah, yeah. Um, all right. So that's the NFL, I guess. I mean, did you have anything to add?
Uh, no, man. Super Bowl was fun. Definitely a defensive game. I think we were right. Hey, Seahawks actually got an offense to boot. Um, Walker deserved player of the game, though. Someone's got to put you in field goal range, and it was only Walker putting you in field goal
Yeah,
range.
that's true. I'm not mad about him getting it. I just was rooting for the kicker because,
No, yeah, no, the chaos kicker win would have been crazy.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah. They were struggling real hard to find a way to give it to Sam Darnold, but they were like, "Hey, we got to give it to we got to give it to the kicker. Or we got to give it to the running back, I guess. No way we're giving it to the kicker unless he throws for a touchdown. If he threw for a touchdown, they've been like, that's quarterback play. We'll give it to him.
Yeah. And Chris Collinsworth is in the booth and he's just struggling to make every quarterback sound like Patrick. Like he's in the booth and he's like, you know, people are gonna say that Sam Darnold hasn't done much. It's been all Kenneth Walker, but look at the way he throws this 3 yard slant. Just look at. Not everyone can do it. And meanwhile, Devin, it's a 3 yard slant that I've seen you complete.
Yep. I could complete it blindfolded, like, hey, this guy's gonna be right there in about half a second.
Yeah. We have a nickname for Devin as quarterback. Great quarterback. We call him Noodle Doodle Devin. And I just made that up. But
I
that
was
is
gonna say I have no quarterback names. I'm ready to hear this one. No, that's accurate. I will slice and dice and throw absolute dimes under 20 yards. All right. Get me on your flag football team. I'm not throwing any bombs. All right. Under 20 yards, you're cooked. All right.
but also this is my favorite part is you are like the dream West Coast air raid style quarterback because you don't throw bombs. You just throw screens and slants at an efficient level to the point where it's like,
Yep.
oh, he's not throwing picks. And then like
Yep.
you need a yak guy. Like if you have a yak guy on the team, which I'm slow, but I'm a yak guy because I got the juice. The fun. Okay, not to bring up my whatever flag football. When we were playing in flag football, these dude, it was so our team was like it was like the third game, and they kept throwing. I was like the only white guy that was good, and they kept throwing random people out because we had like a 30-man team. So we were trying. They were like, we need to get everyone to play. This dude just gets cooked over top, and then there's another drive where the guy's out there runs a slant, drops the ball, or he runs the slant, catches it, and he like dances in the same spot for like 5 seconds and just gets his flag pulled there. And I just yelled at the whole team and the whole sideline. I said, no more white people on the field. The only white person allowed on the field is me because it was like the first game I caught a pass and I proceeded to juke out like 6 dudes to the point where they're like, "Oh yeah, like you're our yak receiver, and then we have some possession receivers over here." And I was like, "Dude, I'm the slowest one. How am I the yak guy?" But I am. I'm a yak guy. I got
You
the
got that high elusiveness.
elusiveness, 90 miles speed.
Yep. Look, man, if anyone's looking for a quarterback, 21 completions, 23 attempts, 187 yards. All right. That's what I
I
bring.
think that's generous. It's going to be 21 completions, 23 attempts, 37 yards
No, it'll be 187, but it'll be like 140,
after
145.
catch.
Yeah.
140 after the catch. Okay. All
I'm
right.
gonna
But
I'm
yeah,
gonna hit some mad mesh and drag routes.
that's that's it. Dragon flood concepts. But anyway, to what were your thoughts on the season overall?
It was fun. It was yeah, I think I kind of agree with you. Like actually have being invested in like keeping track of it, like who's good, who's climbing. It made me more aware and much more in tune with like, oh, these guys are climbing right now. Hey, these guys are 4-4, but they've people are like, oh, we don't care about these guys. They're 4-4. Well, yeah, but they won the last three straight. Like, and it made me so much more aware of stuff like that. It was fun to keep track of. Um, I am the picks champion. I don't know what to tell you guys about that. Um, I'm also able to predict final scores now, so it's made me a better football fan in general.
So you're growing, your
Uh,
powers are growing.
yeah, my powers are growing. By next off season, I might not be sitting in a chair. I may just float above the desk and
Yeah.
talk to you guys psychically. I'll never move. My mouth will never move, but you guys will hear what I say.
Yep. Yep. I respect that. Okay. So that means that's it. That's the NFL. So I think the next thing we're going to talk about,
NFL's done for the next. We'll come back in about 5-6 months on that
I'm
one.
not going to lie, and this is going to piss some people off, but the NFL is my least favorite. Of the three football leagues that we really cover, which we've covered two so far, we covered three, but as far as games go, we've gotten two with college and the NFL. And even then, you can break it down to four if you want to break down FBS and FCS, the differences between those. So if it's four leagues, the NFL is number four for me.
I think, and I kind of was talking about this. A lot of people do love the NFL because it's the highest level of football.
Oh
Any
yeah,
game can be a really good game, and I don't disagree with that. I think what makes the NFL less interesting for people like me and you is that a record wise, a very mediocre team is still a playoff team.
yeah,
You can go 10-7 and make the playoffs. And if you got hot at the right time, maybe you make a run. Maybe that's crazy. But in college, growing up as like big OU fans, and it would all besides that one year in 2000, you had to have a perfect year if you wanted to go all the way. And so you really had a powerhouse team. And it's not so much a big thing now. I think the way the playoffs work in college now are pretty great with kind of like getting those Cinderella runs or those late, like, oh, this team got hot right at the exact time they needed to. But in NFL, it's like, I'm never going to be excited about OU going 7-5,
no, yeah, you won't.
which is the equivalent of a 10-7 NFL season. That's a playoff team. Or it could be a playoff team, depending on what's going on around. So I think that's why it's less exciting necessarily. Also, I always have to work Sundays, so it's just kind of like I can't really make a day out of it.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't always work Sunday. Um, perks. But yeah, so I agree. But anyway, on to college football. The next thing to talk about, which is I mean, it's big news. I think this is like the biggest news of the offseason so far with college
Yeah.
football. And that is that the North Dakota State Bison are moving to the Mountain West for football. So they're making the leap
Mm.
from FCS to FBS effective 2026. And what does this mean? I mean, so I guess the breakdown is this, right? So we're talking about a Mountain West that was just robbed of a lot of teams, right? We're talking about a Mountain West that lost Boise State, their premium team, like their team. You're talking about a Mountain West that lost San Diego State. All the states that were in the Mountain West, which I believe was Boise State, San Diego State, Utah State. There's another state in there.
Colorado State, Utah State.
Colorado State. All those state teams, they're gone. And those are a lot of their premier brands. And then I think they kept UNLV. So
No,
I guess
I thought UNLV win. I'll look it up right now.
no, they Yeah,
What the
so
hell?
they stayed in the Mountain West. So
Okay. They got Texas State though.
yeah, they did, but Texas State isn't from the Mountain West. So
Just
Pac-12
saying
got
they got
Texas
Texas State.
State. Yeah, I remember specifically because it's all a bunch of state teams. It's like Oregon State, Fresno State. Like Fresno State left the Mountain West.
Might as well call it Pac State
Yeah,
12.
yeah, that's what I said. Pac State. I called that. I said that when we talked about this. Like it's Pac State. Um,
I don't remember, so I'm taking credit.
yeah, so it was like episode 2. I called it Pac State. Yeah, so what this North Dakota State move does for the Mountain West is it gives them some brand recognition because outside of
Mm.
them, the only other solid team would have been um, the UNLV, and I think New Mexico State went to the Pac-12 as well.
You think who else went to the Pac 12?
New Mexico State.
New Mexico State is Conference USA. I don't think they moved.
Oh yeah, no, they weren't. Hold on. No, you're right. You are right. I'm trying to remember who stayed in the Mountain West. Oh, New Mexico. Yeah, New Mexico's in the Mountain West. I'm sorry, but yeah.
Oh, New
So
Mexico went. I didn't know that.
no, New Mexico's staying in the Mountain West.
Oh, they're
Um,
staying. Okay.
yeah. So uh, now you're looking at New Mexico, who had a good season. So the New Mexico Lobos, they're staying. So it'll be New Mexico and Nevada and UNLV, Wyoming, North Dakota State. So what you have is the brand recognition. Obviously, North Dakota State's can play good football. North Dakota State, it's probably North Dakota State's probably a better team, like going to be better than like Colorado State was in this league. Like North Dakota State, I think if they played tomorrow would beat Colorado State. North Dakota State, if they
Right.
played tomorrow, would beat Wyoming. Now, here's what I will say: moving to the Mountain West, does that hurt their ability to recruit the type of players they were recruiting because they're kind of losing their championship pedigree because they're not going to win a national championship? I don't think so. I think that them in a JMU is a great example of a powerhouse FCS team moving the right way. Um, so I think that they'll be good, and I think that you're looking at a North Dakota State team that's looking to dominate the Mountain West alongside UNLV and New Mexico for the foreseeable future.
Right.
So yeah,
Do we think any other teams are going to follow them?
I could see in the coming years, South Dakota State, Montana, and Montana State all making that jump. The main reason is because they have the facilities to facilitate the move. Like they have Division 1 group of 5 facilities already, better than most actually. Like they have great stadiums, great atmospheres, great facilities. So I could foresee those teams making the move. I don't know if South Dakota State will make that move, and I don't know if Montana State will make the move. Well, any of the Montana. I think the Montanas will stay where they're at because they kind of like having prime time FCS games, and I don't think they want to be overshadowed by the FBS, all the limelight there. Like they'll get washed away in that, right? And there is no brand like North Dakota State when it comes to the FCS teams. There's never been a brand like North Dakota State from the FCS, not for a long time. And so I think Montana State, with the vacuum of North Dakota State's dominance leading, even though they didn't win the national championship this year, or the year they won the year prior, but like they had already fallen off a little bit, but not. They were still a championship pedigree team every year, year in year out, perennial favorites, perennial lock for the playoffs for them. So I think The only other team that I really could see making that move is South Dakota State, um, and honestly, the only other team that I see outside of FCS in general, South Dakota State, Abilene Christian, and Tarleton State, and then maybe in like 4 years, like a UTRGV, just because of the enrollment that they have and the alumni base that they have could facilitate the move. And the facility they have is very, very, very top notch, which we've gone in depth on. So anyway, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of these teams try to stick it out for at least a year or two, just because, hey, the top dog is gone. One of your biggest challenges to get to one of your biggest hurdles to get over to a national championship is out of the way, and it's just one game at a time. So if you know one of those games is out of the way, you got that much better of a chance.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of these guys are going to end up sticking around for at least a year or two. If it turns out it's a lot more competitive than they hoped, then maybe they make the move to make more money. Just depends.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that's true. All right. So, yeah,
But you're saying UT RGV to Conference USA in 2030?
I could very well see that happening. I think that's actually their goal. I would say that if you talk to people in the school, that their goal is FBS. Their goal isn't to stay and become an FCS power. I think they want to become an FCS power. I think ideally they get there. They're an FCS power, but I think they want the funding and the revenue that an FBS program garners. And the Southland Conference, while being one of the better conferences in the FCS, probably like one of the top four, it's not going to garner the same gravit gravit gravitas. No, I don't know. It's not going to garner the same wages or the same profit, I should say, that an FBS team would, even if you are a group of five. What I could see is UTRGV the Sun Belt. That's truly what I could see.
It would be fun. I don't see the Sun Belt move. Well, no, because they added
Every team ever wants a team in Texas. So it doesn't like with the decentralized, like I think we get into this mindset of like, oh, it doesn't match up with the region, right? But that's true. But they don't care about regions. They care about, can we get a team in Texas so we can have eyes in Texas, so we can have presence in Texas, so we can have an easier recruiting base in Texas. So I would see that. I could see that. Anyway, that being said, um, yeah, that's college football. That's all I had to talk about with college football.
I wasn't expecting college football news at this point.
It was very exciting when I saw it. I was very excited to talk about college football again. Yeah. Anyway, so the next thing we talk about is the UFL. Um, the I think the oh yeah. So with the UFL, um, as you know, there's been some talks about some new rules, and those rules are after the 50-yard line, you can no longer punt,
Mhm.
and a 60 plus yard field goal is a 4 point field goal.
Yep.
Here's why that's exciting, especially for the UFL. Some of the best kickers in the NFL, like if you are looking for a kicker and you're an NFL team, your first look is not college right now. It's going to be the UFL.
Yeah, guys that are getting actual like training and kicking experience and you know have done the college thing are now improving the technique because kicker feels like one of those things where you continue to prove as you get older a lot of the time. Like you don't come out of college like just a crazy kicker a lot of the time. A lot of dudes get better after college.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, and kicking is one of those things where, like, yeah, it can mess up your leg a little bit, but it's a science, and once if you can keep narrowing it in over years, like you should be a better kicker at 24 than you were at 22. But if you never got the call to go be a kicker at 22, then nothing happens. But now the UFL provides these guys the opportunity to keep kicking and eventually and getting better. And you Jake Bates for the Detroit Lions is a great example. If the Michigan Panthers, who don't exist anymore but might exist again in the future, um, had this rule, they would have gotten a lot of 4-point field goals from Jake Bates.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think
We
it.
should honestly, off-season stuff, we should go back and see how many games would have gone differently with him kicking
Yeah,
with that rule.
yeah, and it's I mean, it's exciting. It's also like it's gimmicky. Of course, it's gimmicky.
Hmm.
The punting rule is curious because like 49-yard line, I can't punt anymore. That's crazy. So that might even play into the strategy of like, hey, like I don't want to get one. If we're at the 51-yard line, we need 6 yards to score or to get a first down. If we're not going to get, so we get 6 yards or no yards, and that's it. Because I don't want to have to give them the ball or try and go for it and not get it at the 49-yard line. So this is our game plan right now. Like that's I'm curious to see if that comes in. I'm sure it will. Like,
So, like in that situation, that would be interesting. Okay, you're at the 49, you're on your own 49-yard line. You're trying to get, you have to get 6 yards for a first down. It's 3rd and 6. Okay, well, you go, you throw the ball, and you got 4 yards. Well, now it's 4th and 2. Well, that's not crazy. Where I think it's going to be stupid is when you get to the 30-yard line or you get to the 40-yard line. So you need to get to the 30 for a first down. You take a sack, you take a penalty. Now it's 3rd and 19. And it's like, do I have a 20-yard play here, or do I take a run back 2 yards, take a knee and punt? Do I give up on the drive early? I would hate it. I'd be so mad to see it. But if my defense is playing and all I need to do is give them a little field and I keep going, if I'm winning the punt battle where I gain 20 yards and they gain 5 and then I gain 20 and they gain 5, I'm slowly creeping in position. I'm not going to give it all up right then. I'm going to go back 2 yards, 4th and 21, and I'm going to punt it.
yeah,
That's where I see it being an issue.
yeah. I'm not a big fan of like mandatory punt, no punt rules. Like I don't like now you're taking the coach some coaching strategy out. You're kind of like there's going to be guys that game the system too. Like you said, it's going to be 3rd and 10. They're on the 42. They need to get to the 32 to get a first down. And you're going to see a 3rd and 10. The quarterback catches a snap and runs backward for
Yeah.
9 yards and then drops on the ground. Like, okay, that's dumb, but all right.
Yeah. I mean, and it all depends on how good these kickers are going to be because they're trying to force like these more like long field goals. Okay, that makes sense. I can't punt from the 44, so I'm gonna have to kick a 61 yarder. As many good kickers have come out of the UFL, not everyone in every kick in the UFL is kicking 61 yarders.
Yeah, no, no.
Especially in like these soccer stadiums that they all want to play in, because I feel like the wind gets really bad in those for some reason.
Um, it depends. But the tunneling effect of one of those massive 1,000, 100,000 seat stadiums isn't as bad because that wind, like what happens in a stadium, right? Is you have your stadium, and when the wind comes in, it swirls in. So like while the wind up top, like you'll see this on these massive stadiums. They have flags on the out border, right?
Mhm.
And you see the flags flowing that way. And then you go down onto the field and you see the flags on the goalpost blowing the opposite direction. And everyone's like, what
Right.
the hell? But so I mean, and that can actually play into like when you punt a ball, when the wind changes. Because if you punt a ball into the or again with the wind, and you're judging like whatever, and it goes high enough, which punts they get up there, it goes high enough, it can enter a different wind trajectory and affect the way the punt. So I think that happens less. The tunneling effect of the stadium happens less with these smaller stadiums.
Okay.
So yeah,
Maybe I'm just misremembering something. Um, But yeah, I want to say I like the kick rule. Hey man, get crazy with your rules,
Yeah.
right?
Because
Have
at the end of
fun.
the day, if it doesn't work out, you can always change it at the end of the year.
Yeah.
As long as there's another
But
season, you can always change it.
the punt one, I don't know, no punts inside the 50 is like,
Yeah. I think they're hoping it generates more points on offense and defense. Or,
mhm,
because you're getting like you're gonna get better starting field position for some drives and you're generating more like you're pressing you're making them press the issue. So you're telling them like, no, you have to go for it here. And they're hoping that when they do go for it, that this is generating more exciting plays. And if it
right.
doesn't, then you're giving the other offense a short field, with which increases their chances of scoring. So they're trying to. It's almost like a cheap way of like the arena method, where they're like, "Hey, everyone just wants points." You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, hopefully it works out and you just have more people going like they're not trying to throw for 8 or 9 yards on third down. They're, hey, I'm good at picking up 5 or 6 because I have to go for it on fourth down
Yep.
anyways. So you're gonna get more going for it on fourth between the 40 and the 50, probably. And I think it won't really change anything inside the
Yeah.
40.
But Madden players are fucking are screaming. They're like, "Thank God."
I Let's go.
Madden players are like, "Nah, man, 50-yard line's chump. My own 30. If I get past my own 30, I can't punt the ball."
I had a I had a game I played forever ago. I don't remember when I first started playing online on NCAA. This is actually the previous one, 25. It just had some dude who would not like punt the ball. And like I wasn't that I'm not that good. Like I could beat up anybody like who doesn't play the game, but from people that play consistently, I'm just kind of middle of the road. Dude just wouldn't punt the ball, so I just kept getting the ball at the 30-yard line. I was like,
Yeah.
I'll dink and dime for a touchdown all day and
And that guy
win
was
this.
beating
That's
his
fine.
kids after that game. He was beating
Oh,
his
yeah,
kids.
beat the absolute shit out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I guess we'll see how the rules go. I am very excited for the UFL season, so I'm excited to watch it. Waiting to see how the rules affect things though. The first week will be very telling, I think. Actually, that's not even true. This first, second, and third week will be very telling. It's going to take a minute to adapt, and then once they figure some things out, I think by the third week we'll see how the rules being handled. Um,
Right. Yeah.
all right. So the only other thing to talk about in the UFL is the fact that we were promised jersey releases this week, I believe. He said mid-February, and it hasn't happened. So if it doesn't happen tomorrow, which is Friday, this is being filmed on a Thursday night, if it doesn't happen on Friday, we were lied to. And I want my money back, even though I haven't given any money to this league or this year yet. We will. I really do want to go to a game, so we'll see. But yeah, um, interesting. I, I don't know what that means. I'm not like they're gonna have jerseys when they play. I'm just interested to see the jerseys because I know like the sooner you can show people the jerseys that you're releasing, I'd say the better because if it was me, I would release the jerseys that we made tomorrow or like 3 months ago, just a mock up of them at least. Hey, these are the jerseys. And then I would just scour social media comments and be like, oh, everyone hates this one. Hey guys, read your comments. We're changing it. And Repoli, of all people, reads comments. So
Yeah. He just responds to them really poorly.
yeah. But for better or worse, that is the engagement you need with a league like this. Is someone that's reading the comments, not someone that does something and then says, y'all don't know what you're talking about, right? Like he might say that. That is a valid, more than likely option for him to say. But
But that's an offline comment. That's a well, these guys are fucking stupid. Hey guys, we've read your comments and we're gonna be making some changes. Don't worry, just keep a lookout for that here in a couple weeks.
yeah,
And then he can go be mad outside while he
yeah.
kicks the yard or
I
something.
don't think he has that filter quite yet. I don't think he ever will because he's older than us. But um, it is nice to know that possibly you can affect change by being an online troll, which is all trolls ever wanted, I think, deep down. That being said, I guess that's the only other thing I had to talk about with the UFL. That kind of wraps up all of football. it's the dead season. Like we could talk about other sports, but I don't care about other sports. I'll look and find another sport that I care about, and then when if I ever want to talk about another one, I will. We'll talk about some basketball stuff too, but later because I don't watch basketball much anymore. The most I ever do with basketball is I play basketball with my friends, and I'm not good at it. So there's that. Um, so yeah, that brings us to the final segment. Devin, do you know what the final segment is?
Hoping it's tailgate tears.
It's tailgate tiers. And today's tailgate tiers, we're picking it's 10 every time, and you're gonna have to do some Google image searching because today's tailgate tiers is facial hair styles.
I hope you're going to put the images up for people watching this to
I
see.
think I will, but if I do that, it's gonna take me longer to edit it. So
Well, hey, you don't got to get it out before the game this weekend, so you got time.
that's true. All right, Devin. So I'm gonna read the ones that I'm gonna do the ones that make that people kind of know what they look like, but I will throw up the images. I might just throw up this one image because I have an image with a bunch of them on here, so I'm gonna read them off. Okay, ready? The first one of the 10 is the soul patch. Is it? Well, before I start this, I'm sorry. I always do this. I forget to explain the rules. The rules of this tailgate tiers. There's three tiers to tailgate. The thing about the tiers is it's not once good and then it works up to being bad or works down to being bad. They're just different styles of tailgate, different themes, maybe different backgrounds, different demographics, more on the economic side of things than like any other demographic. I want to economic demographic is very different between these three different tailgates, but it's like a what'd you call it, a Venn diagram where there's a circles and they all have some overlap with each other. But
I don't know which one what it's called when there's three of them, but yeah.
yeah, I think that's a Venn diagram. Uh, the three tiers are Walmart parking lot, classic tailgate, corporate picnic. So I'm going to read off these facial hairstyles to Devin, and then he is going to tell me where it belongs. And the first one is soul patch.
It is 100% no overlap in the Walmart parking.
It's as far in the Walmart parking lot as you can possibly get. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
The next one is the horseshoe. So the horseshoe is when you have the mustache, right? Like mine. It's kind of like mine, but then this part comes down like a horseshoe. Yeah.
So just basically me, but without anything below this.
Yeah, that's a horseshoe right there.
Yeah, that is also the Walmart parking lot. That's an angry person. That's Hulk Hogan. That guy slams beers and gets mad when he runs out because his wife didn't know he had already drank the 24 pack. Um, that's a guy that thinks the kids aren't his because they can't play baseball good.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
that's 100% Walmart.
Yeah. So I agree. The next one is the handlebar. So that is comes out, right?
Oh, hold on. I know what you're talking about, but I want to. That is a corporate picnic.
Corporate picnic. All right.
He's the engineer at the company,
Yeah.
but that is a corporate picnic. That is a
He's
man who's
the
spending time manicuring his beard hairs.
yeah, he's the guy that works for a tech startup for sure.
Yeah,
Okay. Then the next well, I was gonna say the toothbrush. You know what? No, we're not gonna I'm not doing it. I was gonna do it, but I'm not doing it. You know
I kind of want
exactly
you to do it now.
no, you know exactly what I was gonna do.
I
Think
don't.
think the most famous facial hair. Maybe not famous, notorious facial hair.
Oh no, don't do that.
Yeah. No, I'm not doing it. All right. So the next one is what would be considered a well, sort of. It's either a lampshade or a painter's brush. It's basically what I have. Yeah,
Yeah, we'll go classic.
it's definitely a classic. They're kind of the same. Lampshade, painter's brush, walrus. This is one of those.
Yeah,
Our next,
dude has two stepkids, and he enjoys putting hot dogs on the grill.
yeah, very true. Next one, mutton chops.
Mutton chops. Oh man. Oh man. That one is classic. He's not spending too much time manicuring the beard, but that guy likes to barbecue.
Yeah,
He likes
I
to grill.
mutton chops is a and you can barbecue mutton chops, which is
Oh, it's
very cool.
delicious.
Barbecued, but it plays into it. So important. Now, the next two are related to each other. I
Okay.
guess they all are, but these two are very closely related to each other. So the first one is 5 o'clock shadow, just a natural 5 o'clock shadow.
The classic.
Classic. Okay. And then the
That's
next
gonna be
one,
classic. That's a guy that's got the time to shave, but doesn't care about it that much.
yeah,
It's not a bunch of
it's like this guy's not waking up every day and shaving. You know,
yeah.
he's shaving every 3 days. The next one though is 5 o'clock shadow, but it's called designer stubble. What it is
It's
it's
oh
the
when they like
they have the line five. It's like they want to look like they didn't care and they didn't shave, but they clearly woke up and edged up their 5 o'clock shadow, made sure their
yeah,
lines
yeah.
underneath were all good. Yeah, that is
You know what
designer
the
stuff.
answer is. That's corporate. That's
Corporate.
100% corporate.
Okay, I agree, 100%. So then we have the Viking beard, which is just the super long with the braid.
Classic.
Classic. Okay.
That dude's fun as fuck. That dude's hilariously fun.
So we're at that was seven. The Walter White. It's called a circle when it's like this. That I call it the Walter White.
I need to look at it. I need to look at it. Sometimes you got to visualize it.
Just look up a picture of Walter White when he was bald, and that is the Walter that is the circle. Oh,
That is corporate.
I disagree. I think
That's
that is.
corporate. It's obviously way too manicured to be Walmart.
I don't think it has to be way too manicured to be Walmart. I think it has to be like this is something like if I saw a guy in a Walmart parking lot cooking boiling hot dogs in a Walmart parking lot and he had that mustache, I bet, or that facial hair, I'd be like, checks out.
Hmm. No, I think this is corporate. This screams corporate C-suite guy that wants to have the beard but still wants to look clean. And he figures it's easier just to maintain this area
Mm-hmm.
and keep this nice and trim, and then just the rest of this can just go.
All right. Okay. I guess maybe. So the next one is the Van Dyke. Van Dyke. VANDYKE. Now think handlebar with a landing strip on the chin. The way I remember this is in the movie Tombstone. Doc Holliday, played by the eternally great and amazing actor who I can't remember their name right now, but also played Batman. I can't remember his name. Great actor though. That's like one of my favorite characters of all time is Doc Holliday in the movie Tombstone. And I can't believe I can't remember his name. Dad's gonna probably hit me for not remembering his name because I
Should
anyway, He had the Van Dyke. Doc Holliday did.
So you have this, and then you got this.
No,
You got a little this.
it's this. It's like a
Yeah,
strip.
that's corporate. That's corporate.
I agree. Fu Manchu is next. That is whiskering down, like falling down, like that.
Yeah, that's Walmart.
Okay, so that was
That's a
mine.
guy that thinks he's doing something,
Yeah,
but he's
yeah.
he's drinking Natty Light.
And for the 10th one, I'm doing it, Devin. The toothbrush mustache. Yeah, I said the toothbrush mustache. I need you to look it up.
I know what it is. I'm gonna look it up. Yeah, yeah. That's not any of them. That's not any of them. What is, if I had to put it in one, it's definitely not corporate. It's not going to fly at the corporate level.
Depending on what time, what
Depending on the
you,
time period.
depending on the time period, it could absolutely fly at the corporate level.
I just,
Here's the thing, Devin. It's definitely not corporate. It's not a classic. If a guy walked into my classic tailgate with that, I'd be like, I'm not going to kick you out right away. I just have a lot of questions before I do.
yeah.
Um,
Hey man, what do you think about this? And the second they start ranting, you're like, yeah, I
or
know.
you go, hey man, what do you know about history? And he goes, I just woke up from a coma. I don't remember anything about history. I like this
I
style of
I I
mustache.
fell as I passed out in 1938.
No, no, no,
I
no, no.
just woke up.
Woke up from a coma. Doesn't have any recollection of history. The only thing he remembers is he likes tailgating. So he went to a tailgate and he got up, he
Mm,
shaved his facial hair into what it is. And then he went out and
yeah,
said, I think this is my look. And when he came here
yeah,
immediately, but then you meet that guy and you don't immediately say, you can stay as you are. You'd have to be like, hey man, you can stay, but I gotta, we gotta have a conversation. I gotta talk to you about some books and
yeah.
you're gonna have to
So
shave. It's Walmart, Devin. It's 100% Walmart.
the one reason that I'm hesitant to put it in any category, it's Walmart. It's got to be Walmart. It's the only place where it would apply. If some dude comes up, there's nothing wrong with it. It's facial hair. All right, I know my history. Blah blah.
This isn't
The only reason I don't want to put it
disparaging.
in Walmart is because it makes the other people in the Walmart category look worse for being there with them.
I agree with that. Actually, you know what? That's fair. So we will remove him from the categories. He won't be in one. That
Yeah,
is fair. And I didn't
you're
think about that.
you are excluded from the tailgate until you explain why you have it and what you're going to do to change it because you're not allowed with that one.
That means that neckbeard is the final one.
Walmart.
Yeah, okay, so that is an app for Walmart. So we did 10 and a half, the half being the one we it's called the toothbrush mustache. I want everyone to know I have a chart of
You were sitting there
mustaches.
kind of like, which one of these two should I do?
It's just
Oh,
funny to
man.
me. It's just so the funny part is like we know what that mustache is. We know what it is. This chart of facial
I
hairstyles,
don't want you to put up a picture for that one. Don't put up a
I'm
picture for
putting up a
that one.
picture of all of them in the same picture. That's all I'm doing. I'm going to put up this picture. It has 36 different types of facial hair on it. I'm just going to throw that up. And it's on. Here's my problem is it's on here labeled as the toothbrush mustache. It can't be called the toothbrush mustache. Like that name is lost to time. It has a new name now. You got to call it that. And me being, I guess the best way to put it is like I'm a natural contrarian. I love to go against the grain. I saw that and immediately, like my two against my best instincts was like, you got to talk about this one.
You
Okay,
keep
so
dragging me into stupid shit.
yeah, that's my bad. So to talk about this, we have the soul patch as a Walmart, the horseshoe as a Walmart, the handlebar as a corporate. Then we have the I don't remember the order we went into in, but anyway, Fu Manchu as a corporate classic. Fu Manchu was classic, or was it Walmart?
Fu Manchu. Hold on, I'm trying to remember the Fu
Fu
Manchu now.
Manchu was the super like
No, that was Walmart. That was someone that was trying to work with something, but really wasn't.
yeah. Circle you put as corporate. I had it. I think it's Walmart, but you put it as corporate. Mutton chops, classic. Um, 5 o'clock shadow you put as classic. Designer stubble you put as corporate.
I think it's in the name. Designer?
Agreed. 100% agreed. And then one, two, three, four, five. I missed one. Van Dyke you put as corporate.
Mhm. The
Six.
problem with the Van Dyke is every image of it is some guy with a fucking big overcomb, blow over haircut, and it's like that. You're putting way too much work into that.
Yeah, that's fair. If you looked up Van Dyke mustache Western, you'd have different images. Um, you'd have, yeah. Then we did,
Let me do my due diligence while you keep reading.
neck beard. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we covered it all. Mutton chops, neck beard. Okay, we're good. We pretty much agreed on everything except for the circle. Um, so
Well,
yeah,
okay, well, hold on. I kind of want to come back to it. The Van Dyke Western. No, I'm sticking with it.
I'm gonna be very real. If you take most of these facial hairs, some of them are irredeemable. But if you take one specifically is very irredeemable, but most of them are like they're gonna be what they are no matter what. But the Van Dyke, the horseshoe, and the even the mutton chops, for instance, those become more of like I gotta see is what is this individual wearing outside of having a mustache? Like if you have a Van Dyke mustache setup, facial hair setup, and then you also have a cowboy hat, boots, like a work like you look like a work no, not even boot, just boots. You're wearing chaps. You got the whole regalia, not the regalia. I don't want to use that while also using talking about what we've talked about. If you have the whole setup of being a working man, a rant like like a true cowboy, that's you can't. That's not a corporate. That's not corporate, but it is very much dependent upon like okay, that mustache presented with what equals Walmart, whatever, right? So yeah, like I could very easily see a horseshoe mustache not being Walmart, but being classic if the guy is dressed a certain way, wearing whatever because it complements it. It makes it look more almost more presentable, but I don't want to say that. But yeah, more presentable to a certain extent.
A quick off note, I'm going to blow your mind, but corporate picnic cowboys exist now.
Oh yeah, that is true. Cowboys
These are
got money.
dudes, because, and we've lived next to them. We went to high school with their kids. Dudes that live in big lifted trucks and they're wearing their cowboy hats and their Carhartt and they're wearing their boots before they drive into town and do their 9 to 5 paperwork job.
They drive into town and like, hey man, where are you going? Like, are you going to work? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to work. Like bright and early. He's like, oh, what do you do, man? Oh, I'm a coder.
Yeah.
The guy
Oh, I
shows up.
sell insurance. I'm
He
a
says,
car salesman.
yeah, shows up with a dip can.
Yeah. Yeah, those people are living the fantasy. Those are corporate picnic cowboys. They'll sit in there, they'll show up to the tailgate and you're like, boy, you about to have the best ribs you've ever had in your life. And then they'll sit in there and they'll pull out this big giant electric setup or whatever, and they get it going and they throw some hot dogs on there or something and some bland ass cheese or whatever. Those are corporate picnic cowboys, and they
Listen,
exist.
here's what I'll say to wrap before we wrap this up. This has something to do with this. Devin, you have homework. Your homework is I need you to go online and look up Frank the Tank cooks ribs. I
All
need you.
right.
I need you to do that. Tell me. You have to tell me what you think when you see it happen.
All right, I can do that.
And that being said, that's the episode. This was episode 25, I think. It's 25 or 26. It's 25. Um,
25.
yeah, episode 25. Wow. So, with that being said, this is episode 25. Just a quick announcement so everyone is aware, the loyal viewers that we do have, so y'all are aware. Um, we are going to be taking a break because there's just nothing going on, and you know,
Nothing going on that we care about that much.
yeah, and instead of just coming on here and having 20-minute episodes and talking about nothing, I would rather let the information pile up so we have more to talk about when it's time to talk about it. And on top of that, we don't get paid for this. We do all of this for the love of the game. So it's going to allow us some time to take a break from this and have some free time. And I won't have to do late night Wednesday nights editing videos and Thursday nights and Friday nights editing videos when I have the time around my job. I can actually just go to sleep. So that'll be nice. But yeah, so we will be back the second week of March. So we're going to be gone for basically we're taking 3 weeks off. So we're going to take 3 weeks off. We'll be back second week of March. And that'll be priming us up for March Madness. We'll talk about some March Madness. There will be some college football news to talk about. And then on top of that, that'll be getting us ready to get into the UFL season and all the things that happen with that. Um, if anything changes, well, obviously we'll let everybody know and you'll see. But other than that, yeah, we are not going to be recording for the next 3 weeks. Some much needed recuperation, so we can,
Be nice to come home from work at 9 o'clock and not have to immediately jump on the computer,
yeah,
go sit there and play football or diddle myself or something.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, like this is behind the scenes thing. This is like we try and film on Wednesdays or Tuesdays, but a lot of the times with my work or Devin's work, we get blasted with some whatever, and we have to schedule. So it's a very difficult process because we do work full-time jobs like most adults, and then doing this, and then on top of that I have other things going on, and my job is very demanding, as some may know, and not very forgiving with scheduling. They do not care. So I have to get up at, I mean, this is no big, I mean, most people are like, get over it, but I have to get up at 4 to make it to work on time. So on the nights that we film till 11, 12 o'clock, like I'm struggling. So sacrifices are being made for this, I swear. But yeah, that being said, this was episode 25. We're going to call this the end of the season 1 of the Tailgate Sports Media podcast. In 3 weeks, season 2 will start. We'll have another break after the UFL season, and then we'll get into the true season, what we call football season during the fall again. But yeah, anything to add?
I love you guys. You guys are the best.
Yeah, all
We'll
of
come back bigger and better.
bigger for sure. I will be fatter when you guys see me again. Um, no, but yeah. So thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. This is the last 25 weeks, missing one there maybe. The last 25-ish weeks have been really awesome, and we do appreciate everything, especially the people that have viewed the comments, all that stuff. What I will ask y'all to do is please do all of the things like subscribe. Um, we do this for free, so likes, subscriptions, things like that. Just let us know that we're doing well. If there is something you think we can do better, please let us know. You can message us, you can comment it. We have thick skin, so we'll take it. And yeah, just send us ideas. Like we have, we kind of come up with these things on our own. Um, but if you have ideas for things that we should do, please let us know. And hopefully during this break, we can plan up some things that we can make plans for things that we were wanting to do, that we've been wanting to do, and we can kind of like get those in action and make a solid like step forward in that direction. Because there's a lot that we've wanted to do. We've had a lot of like glances at opportunities to do things. It's just scheduling is a mf'er. So it is what it is. But yeah, so with that being said, this was episode 25. Season 1 has concluded of the Tailgate Sports Media Podcast. I'm Peyton. That's Devin. Thank you.